Hello, welcome to Swiss Watch Game, the channel where you find out about watches that you didn't know before, especially here on YouTube. I'm here with Matthias from Germany. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for coming with your wife as well to Zurich, to our studio. And today we'll talk about Kieser Design, your own watch brand, since you've been having for a while now.
Yes.
And especially the new development. You brought us some really good stuff here for us to film and to show the audience. We have from raw components to some 3D models to finished watches, and also the new watch here, which is the signature edition. But before we go into the watches, tell me, how did you start your journey and why did you become a watchmaker?
Well, I'm not a watchmaker by trade, actually. I started this as a hobby first. I had a rather, let's say boring office job before I got into watchmaking, and I was looking for something to balance my office life. So I started it as a hobby, actually. I started to draw watch designs, and then I really wanted to make watches myself. It started basically 2016, I would say, where I drew my first watches, and everything got bigger and bigger, and I bought new machines for the shop, and it really outgrew a hobby. At a certain point in time, my wife asked me, do you really think this is just a hobby for you, or haven't we reached a point where you need to turn this into a business and present your watches to the world?
After all the machines were piling up in the rooms,
Yeah, exactly. And the whole basement was full, and my parents-in-law's basement was full of machines, and I spent all the family money on the equipment.
She's like, I think this is a bit more than a hobby.
Exactly.
Which is good.
And she actually thought that the watches have potential, and I would not have dared actually to go all the way and to risk so much, but my wife really encouraged me to do that.
That's good to hear. I mean, I think it's very healthy, that if you have a partnership that you guys support each other and you also work together.
Yes.
She works on the marketing side, also the PR stuff, website and pictures, and you also have a very good YouTube channel. So guys, if you want to see how watches are made by Matthias, check the link in the description below. He's gonna bring out many cool videos in the future as well. So I like you because, I love to support people who put a lot of work into their watches themselves. So I know you work on the cases, you produce the cases, the dials, but tell me, like, if we look at a watch now, which components do you actually produce in-house? Because you are not under the label made in Germany, because you're above that threshold, right? So what's produced in your workshop?
I can safely say that besides the raw base movement, all the components are produced in my own workshop on my machines with my own hands, or with my goldsmith Carolyn's hands. So you have the dial, the hands, the indexes, the cases.
Which are here, the indexes.
Yes, those are the indexes. And the rotors, we do also movement modifications, the crowns. All these parts are manufactured starting with a raw piece of titanium, because that's our metal of choice. It has always been, and it probably always will be. And then we turn the raw piece into the different components. For example, here you can see a part which is going to be turned into a case.
So this becomes which part after?
This becomes that.
Wow.
So this is machined only on one side, and then it's flipped to the other side and machined a second time.
Very cool.
After all the finishing of the surfaces, it's grained, and then it's bead blasted, sand bead blasted, or glass bead blasted. And also the exoskeleton is made in-house.
Which is basically this, huh?
Yeah.
So in theory, there's like a tube for the movement and the dial.
Yes.
And the exoskeleton holds them together from the sides.
It's like an outer cage, which ideally protects the inner case, and it also protects the beautifully anodized color that you can see on our custom pieces. No matter how good and durable coating is, even if it's a DLC coating, when you bump into a wall or something, you scratch it. Even the best coating will wear off, and I really wanted to prevent that from happening by putting the whole watch basically into this exoskeleton.
To protect the middle part.
Yes.
Very nice. It kind of reminds me of the AP code 1159, because the middle part is octagonal and the outer lugs and the case protect it kind of as well. which is very cool and beautiful. And so you have a few pieces here. This is the Tragwerk T and also the Tragwerk T Signature Edition.
Yes.
So, and I see you use a different also kind of dials, because you said you do custom stuff.
Yes, exactly. Well, here you can see a pile of dials which ended in the scrap bin.
This is very cool, like a rainbow.
Yeah, there is a lot of research and development that goes into each and every watch. As we do mostly bespoke watches, the customers can, tell me whatever color they like, what shades they like. So I will try to make everything possible for the customer, actually. And when somebody says, can you mix some colors or go into a spectrum or whatever, I will try to make it possible.
And what's the deal with the Firefly? Because we have it on the new Signature Edition watch, because this looks very cool. Huh?
Well,
can people buy this?
you can actually. I put it together myself, but I didn't produce the set.
Yeah,
so
it's very cool.
It's very cool. It's our spirit animal. My watches are inspired by bionics, so it's transferring concepts from nature into the world of engineering. And the Dragonfly has a very rigid exoskeleton as well, and it protects the inner organs, and that's what I transferred into the watches with the exoskeleton.
Very cool.
And I skeletonized it as much as possible to reflect the beautiful wing structure of the Dragonfly, which is very rigid, durable, but very lightweight at the same time. And I think it goes together with the titanium watches very nicely.
This is very cool. And also it's reflected on the movement decoration of the rotor of the Tragwerk T, of the custom pieces, right?
Exactly. You find the hex shape in various parts of the watches. As you said, it's on the rotor, which I tried to make also lighter, and I wanted to be able to see the movement the whole time. In most of the watches, the movement is covered up by the rotor. So I enlarged the rotor, and by that I could make it lighter, but with the same amount of torque. And I put a gold weight on it. It's 18 karat rose gold weight, also for torque reasons. You need a very dense material. And you can find the hex shape also on the indexes, which are also the indexes on 12 o'clock, and the even numbers are hex shape, and on the dial of some of our custom watches, where we have the pattern of the compound eyes of the Dragonfly.
Yeah, this one is beautiful. This is personally one of my favorite dials, although the brushed dial is nice as well, huh? But this is a bit more, I think, just busy and lively, and I just prefer this one. But these are very cool and very different to each other. So in theory, people can customize the watches if they want to.
Yes, exactly. And we try to listen to our customers and to our community. And one of the feedback we got was the exoskeleton by itself is so special, and the colorful cases, that we want to have a more subtle dial. So I came up with the brush dials. It could be straight grained, like on this one, or circular graining, as it is on the Signature Edition, just to tone down the dial and give a bigger stage to the exoskeleton.
But the brushing is also, I feel that it's deep, so it's very emphasized, which is cool.
We use a special type of sanding paper to get those very, very fine and reflective cuts on the dial.
And for people to imagine about the pricing, let's say, how much is the Tragwerk T custom piece, or how much does it start at? And what's the lead time? How much time do you need to, like, say, make a piece?
Okay, so the base price of the Tragwerk T as a custom piece is around 6,000 euros. and you will have to wait, well, depending on how fully booked we are, but up to 5 or 6 months. And
depends also on the customization.
It also depends on the customization. If you really want something special where I have to go into R&D and try a lot of things out, it takes longer, and of course it will be more pricey then.
Yeah, makes sense. And the talking piece, the new watch that you just released now, is basically the signature edition.
Yes.
Which is this purple one here, or violet, or...
Yeah.
Tell me something more about this piece. What's the difference? What's the price difference at the end as well?
So the main difference between our signature edition and the custom pieces is that we also try to incorporate a lot of the feedback from the community. And one of the main points was I can't decide on a configuration.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for people. We used to have a configurator on the website where people could play around with different colors, but it's so hard for them to come to a decision. So that's why we made the decision for them. We took the most popular color from our custom pieces, which is actually purple, and we put it on the dial. That's how the signature edition basically came to life. And the second feedback we got was, I don't want to wait 6 months for a watch.
Yeah.
I want it to be readily available. I fell in love with your watches now. I want to have it now.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's why we went into production. We make 25 pieces and we will sell them off, and you can have them immediately.
So these are limited to 25. It's on the back as well. This is the first one, huh?
Yes, we are limited to 25 pieces. It's a very small batch, but as I already told you, I'm building the watches myself. I have help from my goldsmith, who does a lot of the finishing works, and she's very talented, but we have a super limited production capacity as so much manual labor goes into the watches.
And the case back is closed, huh?
Yes, the case back is closed. We thought it's a very sleek design. We wanted to make it very robust. It gives more of a field watch vibe, to me at least, and I think it's a very good fit for the watch.
And the size is good. What's the case diameter?
The case diameter is 42 millimeters, but it wears significantly smaller.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's because of two reasons. First of all, you have the curved shape, the ergonomic shape of the case, and it almost feels like it's hugging your wrist, I would say. And the second thing is the watch has an almost square footprint on the back. So the lug to lug on the back is also 42 millimeters.
Yeah.
So the lugs don't stick out, and it feels very small.
And
actually.
the strap tapers down, so it's not like on the AP concept watches, for example, where the case is like big and bulky. But here actually it tapers down nicely, so you can actually wear it on smaller wrists, huh?
Yeah, I have smaller wrists myself, and you know, the whole project started because I wanted to build a watch
for yourself, huh?
a watch for myself, yeah. And of course it had to fit nicely on the wrist.
Here we have some other components as well, like the buckle here, a saw, and this I assume is from the rotor, correct?
Yes, exactly.
So essentially this is how it starts.
Yeah, this is how it starts. It's a 0.5 millimeter titanium sheet. The contours are milled, then we take the jeweler saw, cut it out, do the finishing, and then it's anodized in the beautiful, vibrant colors that you can see.
Nice. Plus the gold weight on top, huh?
Plus the gold weight on top and polished screws.
And on your YouTube channel, you also told me you're going to teach people about watchmaking, right?
Yes.
That's why you brought this little thing here.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Tell us.
So the YouTube channel basically has two components, so to say. One of them is I show how my watches are built. I guide people through the process of a custom build, or a build also of the signature edition, where we have a 3-part series now. But for me, it's also important to educate people and to get in touch with the community. You know, that's the fun of watchmaking and the fun of collecting watches as well. So that's why I want to educate people on the world of watchmaking. Here you can see, for example, a model of an escapement.
That's very cool.
That I 3D printed to show in one of my videos. videos just to make it very easy for people to understand what makes a watch tick and what makes it so difficult to make beautiful watches. And yeah, that's the watchmaking ABC, where I explain all the basic terms and principles.
So basically, if you pull this one, it's going to start moving, or?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it
just
does.
too fast. Yeah. It needs a bit of service if it goes this fast. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I appreciate it a lot. So if anybody wants to buy one of these watches, they can. Of course, you said this is readily available, more or less, and these are custom. So again, what's the difference between the prices?
So the custom watches, they start around 6,000 euros, but it totally depends on what your requirements and specifications are. So probably the sky's the limit. And for the Tragwerk T Signature Edition, we wanted to give more people of the community the opportunity to buy one of our watches on a smaller budget as well, and it's available for 3,990 euros.
Nice. I think that's more than fair, especially because you make all the components. What's the movement inside the Signature Edition?
It's a Sellita SW200, and it's also beautifully decorated. I mean, it doesn't show because it doesn't have a glass cover, but you know, it's with all the old watches who used to have closed case backs, and still they had the most beautiful watches and movements inside.
Absolutely. For the watchmakers, when they service them, they can enjoy them.
For the watchmakers and for the feeling of the owner, I would say.
Exactly. So what's the future for you? What's the journey of Kieser Design? You want to stick to simpler watches, or you want to develop your own movements, or what's the end goal, if you can like move the magic wand and be there now?
Okay, so this is just a starting point. That's definitely just a starting point. I want to develop, I want to hone my skills, I want to become better and make more sophisticated watches. And but it takes a lot of time, you know, and I don't want to grow too fast. So my biggest role models in the industry, for example, are MB&F or Uhrwerk or Chaikin, and they all make such beautiful complications. And that's something that I really want to do in the future. First of all, I'm already working on my own movement at the moment.
Okay, that's nice.
And I also want to incorporate a lot of titanium in that movement. And I think that could be something really, really beautiful, especially in combination with the anodization. And the ultimate goal is to make bionic time displays. So it's a bit far-fetched, and I don't want to tell too much about my ideas, but you know, all these insects and the design language, and you will find that in the time display as well.
Okay. That's interesting to see. Let's see. So guys, if you want to buy any of these watches, check the link in the description below. Also, obviously, follow Matthias on his journey on all these accounts, especially I would say the YouTube channel, because you can really learn more behind the scenes about who you are, what you guys do, the team as well, and just how this watch is made from zero to the finished product. That's it, Matthias. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is all mine. Hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.